Some of you have never fallen victim to a Shondaland production series and shows. I've been seeing people lately get on Beyonce's internet and express their grievances over the ending of the next series that I'm about to dive into. To that, all I can say is, sorrows for us. Luckily for you, I'm experienced in having Shonda Rhimes play with my emotions since 2005. So join me as I break down the episodes of Queen Charlotte over the next few videos. Episode 1 finds us with our Charlotte, our queen-to-be Charlotte, finding out that her brother has broken a deal with the palace for her to meet and marry our King George. Now, of course, she's not having it and she is so upset. We get taken to present day where our Queen Charlotte gets wakened in the middle of the night with some very horrible and terrible sad news. This news that was brought makes her remember the day of her meeting the Dowager Princess. Now, as our Charlotte is meeting the Dowager Princess, we do get a glimpse into how the Dowager Princess is going to be treating her and how she looks at her as just a property and just someone to marry the king and make an heir to the throne. You see that in the way how she looks at her and she inspects her. She even inspects her teeth and her hands and her hips. But with her meeting with the Dowager Princess, it leads to the Dowager Princess having to extend an invitation to a lot of people in the town, and that's where we get to meet Mr. Danbury and Mrs. Danbury. I will give you a warning. When you first meet Lord Danbury, it's a sight for sore eyes in a bad way. So brace yourself. But the actor, the real actor, he looks nothing like that. So the makeup department, oh my gosh, like, whoa. Did they have to make Lord Danbury look that way? Getting an invitation to the royal wedding of the century, might even be the royal wedding of all time, is a pretty big deal. Having them there with her, she allows them to have the titles of Lord and Lady amongst the people of the time. While our girl Charlotte is getting ready for her wedding and for her to get her first glimpse of our man, King George, she's over here trying to get the 411 on him. She's trying to find out what he looks like, what's he into, how does he speak, how does he talk, how does he walk, and no one is giving her any information. Everyone's just silent. It's almost as if she's not even talking to them. And I'm sorry, but something like that would have scared me too, which is why our girl went and ran for it. In spite of her knowing the consequences of leaving King George at the altar, she didn't care. She was ready to go. She was ready to jump the wall. Now, in her attempt in trying to jump the wall, a dashing, charming young man finds her. And as she's trying to find his assistance and trying to help her to get over the wall, this man is like, hey, what are you doing? And she's trying to convince him, I need your help. I'm a lady in distress and you have to help me as a man, as a gentleman. And that's when she finds out that this man, this charming, witty young man, is none other than our King George. He's charming, tells her she's incomparable, tells her she's beautiful, maybe too beautiful to even marry him. She's just smitten, she's taken away. And so she's like, you know what? I'm gonna marry this man. What's the worst that can happen? I like him so far. I like the way how he is with me, and not to mention how good looking he is. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. So they go ahead and get married in front of the town and everybody who's in front of Parliament. And it's all blissful. He tells her he has a surprise for her and she can't wait. And of course, Lady Danbury is able to look out for her girl. It is just taken away because she's made a friend and she's married and everything, it just seems like everything will just be all that she ever dreamed of. Or so she thought. She quickly realizes that marriage to the king isn't at all as it's perked up to be, as she thought. And that's where episode 1 ends. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and share my favorite scene from episode 1. This clip right here is where they first meet. And as you can see, he's charming, and dashing, and witty. Calls her beautiful, calls her incomparable. And he's just sitting there showering her with compliments. And you can tell she's just eating it up, and she's just sopping all of it right up. And she's just taken away and smitten by it. And you can just tell in this scene that George is very, very genuine in what he says to her. And he's instantly taken a connection to her, and he's smitten by her too. But you can kind of also tell there's a slight hesitation. You can kind of see where he holds back from her as well. And it's just an interesting little encounter between the two of them. And of course, I loved it. Who didn't? You're gonna see it everywhere on the internet. So of course it's gonna be my favorite pick of the whole episode. And this concludes my summary of episode 1. I have to say, Shonda and her team never misses when it comes to casting. I mean, it is incredible, these actors and actresses and what they've done in this role for Queen Charlotte. I mean, I go as far as saying Queen Charlotte is way better than even Bridgerton. I'm sorry, please don't come for me. They did a great job with the scripting as well. In episode 2, we find that our queen-to-be is getting accustomed to palace life and having staff waiting on her hand and foot, right? We also see her getting acclimated to having meals and living alone because, well, the surprise was her having her own house, her own palace to herself. The king is off, nowhere to be found. And, he's avoiding and dodging our girl, even though she isn't alone because there's always staff. And of course, there's this man that's following her everywhere she goes. She has never felt more alone in her life than when she was in the palace after being married to the king. The pressure is really getting to her, and she's feeling it as the days go by. She decides she's going to do a drive-by on the king and figure out what is he doing and what is wrong with him. Now, it's important for me to go ahead and mention that there is a secret couple in the show that I mentioned. It's important to pay attention because they are an important key and figure throughout the rest of the series. And let me just say, you guys are not ready for this couple. She pulls up on the king and she decides she's gonna let him know and give him a piece of her mind about how unhappy she is. And she's not having none of this. She's trying to figure out what has he been doing. Whose bed he's been laying up on. The king isn't doing any of that. It's a relief for her for just a second, but it's like, okay, if you're not doing things with other people, then why are you avoiding me? Did I do something wrong? Is there something wrong with me? He's trying to tell her, no, there's nothing wrong. This is just the way how things have to be. And I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I'm like, yo, king, what are you doing? What are you doing to our girl? You just gonna leave her and have her sitting in the palace waiting for you, and that's that? Well, our girl thought the same because before she left, she was telling him she's not having it and she's unhappy, and she left. And that was a cause of concern for our king. Meanwhile, Lady Danbury can't seem to get away from Lord Danbury. That man is just insatiable at this point. And she doesn't want to have it at all. So, of course, an invitation for tea comes from the queen-to-be, Charlotte, and she happily accepts. While having tea with the queen-to-be, they're talking, having a little chit-chat, having a little girl chat, and, a beautiful friendship is just forming at this point. Meanwhile, the Dowager Princess is trying to get her hands on information on whether there's been an attempt to make an heir to the throne. She's still trying to fight with Parliament and making sure that the king is doing his duties and that there's nothing to be worried, but Parliament is really putting the pressure on her. She gets wind that Lady Danbury had sat down with our queen-to-be and invites her over to see what she can get from her. Now, I loved when this happened because I think it's important to mention that Lady Danbury isn't having none of this show and tell and I'm just a puppet to you. And she decides to let the Dowager Princess know. You gave us these titles and you acting like it's just for show and tell. You will respect us amongst the time. And you will be using our titles going forward. Because when I was having tea with the Queen, imagine my surprise when old girl was just shocked and surprised that she didn't even know we had titles. When doing so, her and Lord Danbury are able to be gifted with a whole estate. And you should see the joy on Lord Danbury's face when he pulls up to the estate and he's like, how did this happen? And he questions her. He says, did you know this was happening? And in that moment, even though she can't stand her husband, she doesn't want to be with him. You can tell that she still respects him because he's her husband. And she decides not to let him know that it was her who was able to provide all of this for them. So she simply says no. She didn't know anything was going to happen. And in that moment, you can tell that he just disrespects her when she tries to talk and doesn't even know that really they had all this because of her. Meanwhile, our king, he's in the doghouse. And trust me, our girl Charlotte is giving him the coldest shoulder that there ever was, right? So he's over here sending gifts, trying to find out if she liked it. When she disses his gifts, he is just amazed by how she just, this is his gift. It's in that moment you see that he kind of decides to give this a shot, a real shot. And he decides to just show up out the blue and try to have a meal with her. Our queen to be is like, she ain't having it. Like, no, you're not about to, like you haven't been avoiding me. I don't think so, right? And so he asks her out on a date, if you will, so she can get to know him and she can get a better view of what type of guy he is. And it's so cute, the date that he has set up of them looking at the planets and the constellations, and you know, they're having talk and they, you know, connecting, and then they do their first, you know, attempt at making an and all seems right. Everything seems right between them. And you thinking, oh, this is gonna be great. All right, this is gonna be awesome. So the next day, she's like, she's gonna have breakfast with her man. But in trying to find him, she overhears a conversation between the Dowager Princess and King George. And that's where my summary for episode 2 ends. I'm gonna go ahead and share my favorite scene from episode 2 with you. My favorite scene is where you see that the Lord Danbury and Lady Danbury pull up to the estate and they're having that conversation between the two of them. And of course, she has to make herself small in order to benefit him so he doesn't feel less of a man, you know? And I think I wanted to showcase that because even in that moment, you can tell that there's no respect. Again, there's no respect for her. He has no respect for her. And he kind of just belittles her and telling her to basically shut up and, you know, come on, let's go in the house, let's go see it, and all this and that. And so I just wanted to share that clip with you guys and let you guys see it for a little bit. I hope that in me giving a short summary on each episode, the first 2 episodes of Queen Charlotte, it makes you want to go and check out the series yourself. It's streaming on Netflix. If you have seen the show, comment below in the comment section of what you liked, what you didn't like, and your favorite scene. I would really like to hear what you guys thought of the show as well. That concludes the first video on Queen Charlotte. Now, if you like this video, please hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and comment below on what you think I should check out as well. Any other series that I should check out, anything else that you think that I might like and I might be able to do a review on. Until next time, go out, touch the grass, And just know that you're doing a great job, okay? You're doing better than what you think you're doing. I'm Laura signing out, and thank you for tuning in and watching.